Welcome, awesome agents and investors nationwide. Today is Thursday, August 3rd, 2023, and this is All the Leads Mastermind podcast number 440. We're going to start the show a little bit different today. I'm going to kick it over to my CEO and partner, Tim, and he's got an exciting announcement, I believe. Tim?
I do, indeed. So congratulations are in order. You'll see there Mr. Bruce's smiling face here, as always. And Bruce has had a change in circumstances recently, and we're excited for him and for the opportunity it brings for all of us. I'll let him talk a little bit more about it, but I have a couple things I wanted to say about it. Bruce, as you know, when we started All the Leads, Chad Corbett was one of the four partners that started it, and about 2.5 years ago, Jim and I did a buyout of Chad's interest and also our other partner, Tom's, and we went forward. They had other things they wanted to go do, and it was a good time in their life to do that. We all agreed we would take that on, and Chad wanted to continue on with dealing with teaching and training and all that sort of stuff. So he took Probate Mastery and began to build a business around that. Fast forward to 2.5 years to today, and last week, Bruce concluded a purchase of Chad's interest in the Probate Mastery. I'll call it franchise, even though certainly not a franchise business, but in the name and everything to do with Probate Mastery and all of what Chad built. Chad has exited the real estate space, and Bruce is taking over all of that to run Probate Mastery, continue to build it and to grow it. And for us here on this call, a lot of good things come from that. So as you know, Bruce has been our head coach, trainer, sales manager, cook and bottle washer, and all sorts of stuff for a long time, and done a great job of doing that. But now he's going to focus more of his time on building out the Probate Mastery curriculum, the educational aspects of that, and helping realtors and investors all over the country grow their business with great education and being a superb resource that he is. And Bruce has a unique way of taking very difficult topics, sometimes breaking them down into bite-sized things to get done with, and everybody to a person seems to love Bruce's style. So we're excited about it because it gives us the opportunity to once again push Probate Mastery. We had kind of drifted away from doing that because we were working with Bruce internally to build up what we were doing, and he had the opportunity to go build this, and it was not something that we wanted to do internally as much as it gave him the opportunity to go do it, and he did want to do it. So it works out great for all of us. Bruce will take on a new title with All the Leads, and he's going to continue as our training and education manager and continue consulting with subscribers on a not a demand basis, but as necessary, and also provide training for our coaches and sales team and marketing team. But more importantly, he's got to be building out all of the Probate Mastery franchise stuff. And I use the word again because I need a better word, but there are a number of different courses that Bruce is shaping and reshaping that are there, one of which leads to certification, one of which is a long program, a 12-week program. There are shorter programs. Some of them you've experienced before, but more importantly for all of us on this call and for specifically our subscribers is that because of the nature of our relationship, Bruce will be offering everything that he makes available to the public to our folks at a significant discount that you won't be able to get anywhere else. But more importantly, we're going to continue a very tight relationship. So a lot of the marketing that we're going to be doing is marketing for Bruce with this, along with what he's doing. And we're excited about it. We think it's going to be a great thing for all of us. It allows us to have a much tighter relationship with what we consider to be the number one resource as far as education in the probate industry. And so we're happy to have, Bruce continue with that and wish him nothing but the best. And with that, Bruce, I think I've blown enough smoke up your skirt. What do you got to say about that?
Well, this is an exciting move, and we at Probate Mastery, it didn't jump the gun. We needed to make an announcement a few days ago, and it didn't properly coincide with the announcement coming from All the Leads, and it led a lot of people to think that we broke up with All the Leads. They didn't have a relationship with me. That couldn't be further from the truth. What's happened is
Hey, bud, you're breaking in a little bit.
I'm breaking up. Man, of course.
We didn't. You said we didn't break up.
Yeah, we didn't break up, but I broke up. Okay, is that any better?
Right.
That's better now.
All right. So it allows me to take the 24 or so hats that I was wearing as coach, as trainer, as agency owner, as leadership team, all these different things that I've been wearing, and really kind of refine those down to one hat, and that's the hat of a trainer, which is what I love. It's what I've worked really hard on becoming as good as I can be at that. And for the time being, it's all going to be in the probate space. I have some other classes outside of probate that may join the curriculum at some point in the near future. But this is just a really exciting move, and I'm happy to continue to be here on Thursdays to support you guys. I'm happy to continue to step in and help with training with All the Leads subscribers, with the All the Leads team. But now I'm focused on training and training only, and I love it. I think it's going to be good for ATL, going to be good for me, going to be good for you guys. So really, really exciting move, and I'm happy to move forward.
Yeah, we feel the same way, and we will next week. We'll be sending out a marketing email to all of our subscribers and all of our database that explains what courses we're going to be offering on behalf of Bruce via the ATL platform, and we're going to have it so that it's easy for you to order that, and it will dovetail to some of the new things that we're doing, and over time as we retool our CRM, Bruce has certainly been working with us on that, and everything that you're going to see a really good unified effort for a lot of the things that we're doing, and we're excited. I'm happy for Bruce. We've been in contact almost every day since he embarked on this journey with taking this over, and I've been happy to be part of helping him get this done in some small way, but more importantly, being well aware of what's going on and making sure that wherever possible, we provided information for him as he needed it to make sure we tied this together when it was all done. And I'm real happy with the way it turned out for both of us. So, we're happy for Bruce and we're happy for us. So good things are happening all around.
So guys, I do want everyone to look closely at the email that will come out sometime in the beginning next week, hopefully. I say hopefully. It'll come out sometime in the beginning of the next week. Be on the lookout for that, because it really is going to lay out the different programs that are going to be available over there, and there absolutely will be a discount for anyone that is taking it through All the Leads. And I can't announce the price just yet, but up until August 15th, we're going to have a special deal for anyone that signs up on a kind of an early bird special. So if you're interested at all at advanced education in the probate space, that will probably be 40 to 50 hours of education time when it's all said and done. Be on the lookout for that, because it's something that you're not going to be able to find after the 15th of August. That's my teaser. How's that?
Good job. Jimmy, you also, we have another smiling face on here today. Your friend Andy, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Right in the theme of coaching, training, learning, resources. Amy and Tim were nice enough to invite me to be on their Retire with Real Estate 5-day challenge. And I gave Andy a quote this morning, but the essence of it was that I'm not going to say 20 plus, Andy. I'm going to admit it. This is my 50th year in real estate. Andy and Tim don't want to admit their age, so they always say they've been doing it for 20 plus years. But this is my 50th year in real estate. And what I find extraordinary about their courses is every time I go on one of them, I still learn something. And I also end up being re-inspired and reminded why I went into the business in the first place. So the style, the content is extraordinary. And I asked Andy to come back on, and her and Tim have agreed that whenever possible, they're going to try to be a resource on these calls. One or both of them will try to come on the calls when they can. They're very busy. They travel. They're extremely active investors, but they're going to try to be on this call as a resource to you guys to be available to answer your investor-related questions. And I don't see Tim today, but when Tim's here, he can answer. And I think Andy can answer most of them also, your mortgage-related questions also, which pretty much goes along with investing.
By
But
the way, Andy's husband, Tim, not this Tim.
oh yeah, the other Tim. Yeah.
Here's Tim's chair right here. So today is actually the Mortgage Brokers Association conference down in South Orlando. And today's the day that all of the different lenders have their little vendor booths set up. So Tim is down there, re-solidifying relationships with past lenders, but B, possibly meeting new lenders with new product too. So, and it was a one-day thing, so he had to be there.
Excellent. And as long as you're talking, you want to tell them a little bit about the course you're teaching now, and then maybe it'd be a good time to mention the upcoming bus tour that you have.
Yeah. So the one we're doing right now today, what is today? Thursday? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Today is day 4 of a class that we've been teaching called the 5-Day Retire Through Real Estate Challenge. And basically what it is, I've been 20 plus years, I've been coaching, teaching, training. I led as president one of the RIA groups in Central Florida for 2 years. And then myself and a couple other leaders founded another RIA group that I ended up leading for about 13 years. So I've been part of teaching and training and coaching real estate investors for 20 plus years. And I'm also on the flip side, I'm a real estate instructor. So I'm a Florida state permitted real estate instructor to teach realtor training classes, realtor pre-license, post-license, core law, all those different topics. So I've kind of taken all the education I've had from over the years of all the different parts of real estate, and I kind of bring it together. And since I've dealt with members of the RIA group for so many years, I know what's stopping them. I know they always say the same thing. They have the same issues. I don't know how to get the money. I don't know how to get started. I'm afraid I'll make a bad deal. It's the same things over and over and over as to why they're not doing deals or why they're not doing more deals. Like right now, I'll tell you the big argument is you're stupid if you're buying investment property at 8% interest. That's what everybody keeps saying. Listen, 8% interest is amazing. The majority of our investing career, 8%, we would have killed to get 8% for a big chunk of when we've been investing. The interest rate doesn't matter, just the deal matters. You run the numbers, it either works and you buy it, or it doesn't work and you don't buy it. So don't get so worked up that you missed your chance at 3% interest rates. Yeah, I wish I had bought a whole lot more when interest rates were in the 3s. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy something today. There's an old saying, the best time to plant a tree was 40 years ago. The next best time is today. If you wait and wait and wait to plant that tree, it's never going to give fruit in your lifetime. But if you go plant that tree today, you're still going to be able to get fruit off of it in your lifetime. Yeah, it would have been way better if trust me, I wish I had bought way more houses back in 2010, 11, 12, when you can buy houses for $30,000 all over Orlando. I wish I had bought way more back then. But we were just coming out of a really nasty time in real estate, and I'll admit we were a little gun shy. But now we're past that, we're over it. And what we've learned from the mistakes we made back then, we're now bringing to you guys so you don't make the same mistakes. We're buying houses completely differently now than I was back in, 05, 06, 07, 08, in the boom before the crash. We were kind of like, hey, let's buy it. It's fine. It'll go up in value later. And that's not always the case. So now we 100% focus on cash flow. That's it. I sit here in this 5-day challenge. I've been sitting here on this whiteboard, like plugging numbers left and right. We're pulling up properties on Zillow and Realtor.com, and we're analyzing them. So you can see how Tim and I run through a property, how we analyze it, what we look for. And it's all just numbers. Real estate is not an emotional game. Real estate is a numbers game. You have a formula, you plug numbers into the formula. At the end, the formula says, yes, go buy this, or it says, no, don't go buy this. Or buy it if you can buy it for $20,000 less. Math is math. There's no judgment. There's no emotions. And that's what, when I can get you guys to realize that, it like your brain's just going to explode with the possibilities of what real estate can do. Is that a fair way of putting it, Jim?
Yep. Excellent job. Excellent job. You want to post, you want to talk a little bit about your bus tour, or do you want to do that later, Jim? Post the upcoming bus tour. And this particular class is almost over. Andy,
it is. However, we've been recording all the sessions, so we can still let people sneak into that if you want to. What do you think is the easiest way? Should I send them to that challenge website so they can put in their email, then I'll invite them, send them the link?
Yeah, do it the way.
You're charging $10,000 for the course, right, Andy?
That's one thing about us. We underprice ourselves. This one is,
I believe this one's a lot cheaper, like zero.
This one's free. It's 1 hour a day for 5 days. It's free. We had a VIP upgrade offer, but even that was only $47. So can I do a share screen, or do you just want to put it? I guess I can just put it in the chat.
Yeah, just post it in the chat, and then we'll read it out loud, and that'll get it to the people who are looking for it on Facebook as well.
Yeah, you're going to stay on the call and answer questions. As long as we're on you, why don't we'll go ahead and post real quick, like just 2-3 minutes, go over your bus tour also, and we'll post that.
So the bus trip is coming up in a couple weeks. It is the evening of the 18th, and then all day the 19th, all day the 20th. So
Eric, go ahead and put the slide up, bud, while she's talking about it. Go ahead, Andy.
Here's what the bus trip is in a nutshell. It is, I have three different types of people that do really well attending the bus trip. One is people with zero real estate experience, but that's not you guys. I mean, I've literally had people come to this class, zero real estate experience, barely spoke English, and I'm not even sure could spell the word real estate. No lie, they came to class Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and did their first deal on Tuesday. No lie. That's our record, I'll admit it. Tuesday, 2 days later is our record. But we also, about half of our people that come to this training are real estate agents, because they want to learn more about how to help their clients that are investors, but also they want to learn more about investing themselves. And one of the things that you get out of this class is real world costs for rehabs. So one of the things, especially if you watch any of those TV shows, you know which ones I'm talking about, this kitchen is a $40,000 budget. And I'm looking at it going, that kitchen is a $5,000 budget. I don't know what you're talking about. So if you're an agent and you're walking around showing houses to people, and your client says, oh, this place needs a new kitchen, that's $40,000, we can't buy this house. You can jump in and say, actually, this kitchen is probably going to be between $5,000 and $8,000, depending on what finishes you want to do. And you can explain to them why and how and what materials that's including. So we go over everything. We go over how to rehab a house if you are going to keep it as a rental. We go over how to rehab it if you are going to be flipping it. Because I'll tell you right now, they're completely different based on what you're going to do with the property in the long run. I'll just give you a tip. If I'm keeping the property as a rental, I'm actually putting in top of the line everything. I'm putting in Moen faucets. I'm putting in all of my valves in the showers and everything are going to be Moen because I know Moen's still going to be cranking 10 years from now. When you go buy that $30 no-name faucet from Home Depot, you're going to be replacing that faucet in 6 months. So if you're keeping the property, I put granite or quartz in all of my rental properties, even my low-end ones, because I know that that stone is still going to be there 20 years from now. Your cheap Formica that you think you're saving a few dollars on, you're going to be replacing it next year. So we talk about all the differences. We talk about where to find houses. We talk about negotiating. We talk about how to structure multiple offers. We talk about how to fund them. Everything from how Fannie Mae loans work to portfolio loans to borrowing money from Uncle Bob, which is the number one favorite way of doing real estate. We talk about owner financing. We talk about how to sell properties. Do you want to sell it and cash out? Do you want to hold owner financing? I love being the bank. When I sell properties, I love holding back the mortgage because then I still keep the income, but without the responsibility of upkeep on the house. Oh, what else do we talk about? We talk about who should be on your team and how to find that person. We talk about Friday night is all contracts. So the first evening is everything you need to know about contracts. Because here's my thought on it. If you, in fact, as an example, one time I was visiting my sister and her kids, and they were showing me how to play Mario Kart. You know, the little Mario Kart where you're throwing turtles at the other carts and stuff? And I'm driving, and I think I'm doing a good job, and all of a sudden, out of left field, I get hit with a turtle, and my little car goes spinning out. And I'm like, what is that? What? You hit me with a turtle. I don't understand. They go, oh, yeah, if you want to throw turtles, you push the B button. And I was like, well, you didn't tell me that. There was no way I could win this game because nobody told me the rules to the game. But once you told me the rules, I wiped them all out in the game. And that's the same way with real estate. If you don't know the rules to the real estate game, you're going to have a really hard time making money, and you're going to get yourself in trouble possibly. So Friday night, we cover contracts. Contracts are the rules to the game. We talk about partners. A lot of people try to jump right in with partnerships, and that can be a very bad idea if it's not done properly. So, in fact, out of the people that I'm seeing on the screen here, just wave at me if you've ever had a bad partnership in the past. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. So you've got to be real careful going into partnerships. What else do we talk about? We talk a little bit about staging. We talk about how to select houses, what you should keep, what you should sell, wholesaling, retailing, rentals. It's really like a crash course on real estate all in one weekend. Again,
we'll leave you unmuted too to answer questions. And just to be clear, this is a virtual bus ride. You don't have to show up.
No, it is a virtual. And for part of it, we're actually going to do video walkthroughs of houses. So you can walk through a house and see it through our eyes like we analyze houses.
Perfect. You want to show the rest of the screen there, Eric, or is there more than one? That's it, right? Oh, that's it? Oh, okay. Scott is asking, how does he learn more about this? Where should he go to sign up for it, etc.?
I can answer that.
Yeah, you guys set up the link for that.
Okay, go ahead, Bruce.
Go to all the leads account and click the training drop down, and then courses and seminars, and you'll be able to find all the classes there. Right now, Andy, you're the only class up there, so you guys shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble finding that. There might be a Probate Foundations class up there, but yeah, shouldn't have a lot of trouble finding that.
So this one's ridiculously expensive too.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell them the price. It's discounted through all the leads. This one isn't free.
It is not free, but you're getting me and Tim both for 2.5 straight days. I think for your subscribers, don't you have it at $397?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, one thing when you mentioned Tim is the most extraordinary mortgage broker I've ever met. I've gone through my list of properties that I changed 3 decisions after talking to him, and I felt like I knew what I was doing. But as part of the course, he will go through your whole portfolio with you and give it a good analysis and make recommendations for not only for the business side of it, but although he's not a CPA, disclosure, he really knows the tax consequences of, what to do and when to do it. So Andy, please stay on. Bruce, I can't tell. Do we want to get to everybody's questions. Do we have hands up?
Okay, hang on just a second, but hey,
Okay.
Eric, go ahead. Pop the slide down. There we go. And Andy, the only thing I was going to add to what you're doing is, so you are guaranteeing that when the course is over, not only will they be, great at understanding the basis of real estate investment, but they'll also be better at playing video games, right?
Absolutely. Should I bring my little Oculus with me?
That's the most important part of it. So listen, I appreciate it. We appreciate you. And I've known Andy and Tim forever, and we've been business partners before, and it was neither of our best experiences, but not because of each other. We had someone else involved in it that did not make it pleasant for us. But we stayed friends through all of it, and I'll echo what Jim said. Andy's husband Tim is my mortgage broker, and he's done every transaction that I've been involved in since the early 2000s. So they're great people, and you can't do better than doing that. It's a great place to get started with.
You know who got him into the business and trained him, right?
No. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's that. There is that. Well, listen, at this point, let's go back to our kind of normal format here. And Bruce, let's get some questions going and let's answer some questions. And we had a bunch of announcements to talk about today. It's very unusual for this call that we do this much kind of commercial stuff in the beginning, but we had a lot to talk about today, and let's get back to the nuts and bolts.
All right.
Bruce.
Good. So, guys, just a recap for those of you that are new or haven't been here for a while or many times. It's live, so we're here for you guys. We want to hear your questions and your success stories in the probate niche. We also want to hear questions, if you have questions for Andy or Tim or Jim or myself regarding the trainings and things like that. That's fine, but it's primarily here to hear your probate related, your deal structuring, your unique scenario, your prospecting type of questions. So if you're on Zoom, go to the reactions button at the bottom of your screen and raise your hand. We will call on you. If you're on a live stream, YouTube or Facebook, chat your questions in underneath of the live stream, and those will come over to us coaches, and we'll be able to answer those questions. But I do want to hear from, I think we've got Carrie up first. Carrie, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and unmute yourself. What's happening?
Yeah, thanks so much. Hey, congrats on all the improvements you guys are making there to all the leads. So great work, guys.
Thanks a bunch. Yeah. Well,
hey, I'm starting to communicate with some folks that are PRs, and I'm making some calls and getting a little bit of conversations going. Some of the things that I've done is, used your draft letter, and just kind of wondering what the second or third step might be after you start calling and start conversations, and what's a good second or third follow-up piece for week 3 or 4.
Yeah, sure. So first thing that I want you to do is start looking at your campaign as a whole by putting together your main ingredients first. Your main ingredients are the things that you just did. You sent a letter out. You made some phone calls. Those are main ingredients. Generally, when you look at building your main ingredients, you want to build them out over a campaign length. And for some, that campaign is 3 months. For others, that campaign is 9 months. I kind of like a 5 or 6 month campaign. My main ingredients are phone calls and letters. Now, if I were to show up at your house and you would say, hey, I want to invite you over to my house and have a really nice meal, and all you have is, I'd be happy if this is all you had, honestly. I'm trying to eat healthy, so spice and different things that make things taste good aren't good for my waistline. But in reality, I show up and all you have is rice and beans or chicken and plain white rice with no seasoning. It's not going to be a great meal. You're probably not going to get me back to the table next time you invite. So you want to spice up those main ingredients with some additional things. You want to start doing some education pieces, some videos, interview attorneys, interview estate sale companies, put those out online for people to find you. Your letters should direct people back to a website. Now, every time I say this, it could always go one of two different ways. If you're doing mail and you are not pointing people that have opened your letter to a website, you need to quit doing mail or add a website, okay? If you're doing a website and you're not telling people about it through mail, you need to cancel your website or send some mail. And now you see why it could go one of either way. Those two things work hand in hand because your mailers and your website, those are going to an audience that you have not connected with yet. And those people need to consistently see you. If they're opening a letter and they're not ready to call you yet, they may go check you out online and secretly watch you for a few months before they do engage with you on the phone or live. So think about that campaign of 3, 4, 5, 6 months. If you go longer, that's fine. And put your main ingredients first and then begin to season those ingredients with some other things. You don't need to start with the seasoning. Some people go in and they start with all postcards. Postcards are seasoning. Some people go in and they start with all YouTube videos or blog entries. All that seasoning. It's seasoning for people to go find you once they've seen you and recognize the value of your offer through a phone call or a letter. All right, so phone calls and letters first, seasoning second. That's going to be the biggest thing that you're going to want to focus on when you put your campaign together. Now, the other thing that everyone should recognize is it's going to take some time. Your initial goals are to fill your pipeline up, fill your whiteboard up. Andy's got a whiteboard over her shoulder, and if I had a whiteboard in my office, I would be listing off everyone I've had a conversation with that might sell a house. Even if they said, I don't know yet, I'm going to write them down. Number 1, name, address, might sell. That's going to be my target list. And I want to fill that pipeline up with lots and lots of people. Even if they didn't say, yes, I'm going to sell next month. I want to sell through you. Come see the house. I'm going to fill the whiteboard up with everyone that is a maybe all the way through the hot leads. And that's how I judge my success. And that's what keeps me motivated to keep doing it. If I have no deals yet, but I have 12 people on my whiteboard that I know are highly likely to sell targets, I'm going to get some of those. I might only get 25%. Some of you are going to get 50%, but I'm going to get enough to make this very profitable niche. So make sure that you're identifying those maybes as well as those people that say, yes, I'm definitely selling, because the maybes turn into sellers really quick, especially if you can provide value. All right, I could go on and on this topic. Carrie, I hope that helped. Go ahead, follow-up questions or anything?
Bruce, one thing I want to point out before he jumps back in is that you made a really good point that if you don't have a place to land traffic when you're sending mail out, you're just sending out a blast and expecting them to call you without learning a little bit more than you're going to be able to put into a letter. You're wasting money by doing that, where spending a little bit and making sure that you've got a great website setting that'll basically let them learn a lot about you without any obligation. That's the whole point of doing that. That's why the websites that we furnish for our customers are credibility websites. You're looking to build that credibility. Talk about the things that you know. Let them see you as an expert without the pressure of looking to sell them something at that point. That way you've got a nice warm conversation to have going forward. And of course we can do all that for you, and our marketing reps will help you do that. Just contact support and we'll get you squared away.
Pressure is the enemy.
Thank you very much.
When you're selling, pressure is the enemy. A lot of times we feel the need to pressure someone into meeting us as fast as possible. And there are a lot of techniques that you'll pick up over time as you get more experience here on getting those appointments. But once the prospect starts to feel your pressure, hey, you have to call me right now because this is the only thing I'm ever going to send you. hey, you're on the phone with me. We have to have an appointment next week. They're going to start to pump the brakes and throw some guardrails up to hold you out. So I want you to work on your techniques and get yourself to the place where you know how to influence the direction of things without necessarily having to lay the pressure on. And for God's sake, once somebody says no, don't try to convince them they're wrong. Find another angle to attack after you've built rapport. And that's not for you, Carrie. That's for everybody here. I hear it all the time. Someone says, no, I don't want that. And you go, are you sure about that? And they go, yes, I'm even extra sure now that you're trying to convince me. So find influence tactics to be able to influence people into doing the right thing, doing what's best for them. All right, Carrie, anything else? You're on mute right now. I don't know if you have anything else to add or any other questions. If you do, chime in. All right.
No, that was great. Thank you very much. Perfect.
Thank you. So Steve had asked, who's going to become the chief trainer with my departure? I'm still going to be training. I'll be training under the banner of Probate Mastery, but all of those are going to be available to you guys. Probate Foundations is still going to be available. I am still going to be here. I'm not functioning as I'm not functioning in the operations role with all the leads, but all the training is going to continue running. As a matter of fact, with the acquisition of Mastery, there's going to be even more training than there ever was before. So you guys are not, from the outside looking in, you're not going to notice anything different except for extra training offers. When it comes to coaching, ATL has 3 or 4 coaches now. I saw some of them on a little bit ago. Kelly, Cameron. So we've got coaches that are definitely available to fill in, and they're all peers of yours as well. So they're actively, successfully doing the probate business.
Kelly, Cameron, and Ken.
Kelly, Cameron, and Ken. Perfect.
And we will provide. We'll always continue to provide great resources. Also, Jim is available. I'm available. Our team is seasoned. And anytime we need to bring Bruce in, he'll definitely be there to be involved. So if there's something that's unique that he provides a unique perspective on, won't hesitate to bring him in. And part of the reason for that is Bruce being involved here. I'd like to say he's the most altruistic person in the world, but the reality is he is a lot of that. But the other side of this is the most fertile ground for people to take his education and put money in his pocket for the things he does so well are the people on this call, the people in our group. We represent the largest body of people on the internet in regard to the probate space, and we've cultivated that over a long period of time. So, we're lucky to have a kind of an influential position there, and so it does him great to be here as well as you guys. So good things going on for all there, but we will certainly continue to provide the best the industry has to offer. And then he has his hand up as well. So Ron, if you would unmute.
Yeah, in your experience, do you address the letter and the envelope as a personal representative, or do you address them as their name of the personal representative? How do you address them?
Okay, so are you asking if you addressed to Ron Smith or personal representative of the estate of Jane Doe?
Correct.
Is that what you're asking?
Correct.
Okay. Name. Now, having said that, I could see a mailer going out that is to the estate of. So I can legitimately see that. I think it's a good idea. The thing with the prospects is you get 100 people, and 5 of those 100 are going to want something that's really short form. They're going to want you to summarize your offer in a paragraph, and 5 are going to want something that is 3 pages long, and that's going to be what makes them feel warm and fuzzy. And 90 are going to want to see their personal name on the letter. and 10 are going to want something that's really highly professional to the estate of. So over the course of your campaign, you want to tweak the both the envelopes and the content of your letters a little bit each time, so that it has that individual piece has a likelihood of catching the people that didn't find an appeal from your last offer, your last marketing piece. So I would definitely go ahead, Ron, and do a letter that's addressed to the estate of, but most of those should probably go to the individual name.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
We sometimes find it where it's good to do a number 10 envelope without, a fancy font, but it's a number 10 envelope and it is addressed to John Smith, if that happens to be the name of the personal representative. But on it, it also says on the face of the envelope regarding the estate of Nancy Jones, if in fact that's who the personal representative is probating the estate of. And it's their job at that point to open that. That's part of the probate process. So if you put that letter in there mixed in with your sequence as well, we find great success in getting those opened with that, because that's what they're there for. If there's a claim against the estate or anything like that, they have a legal and fiduciary responsibility to make themselves aware of it. You got to be careful with your letter when you do that you don't take advantage of the fact that they opened it and they might be doing it under false pretenses. So you kind of want to open with, hey, I see that you're the personal representative for the estate of, and here's why I'm contacting you. And that way you're not, playing games with them to get them to open it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, a lot of you guys are also doing handwritten style font on your envelopes, which is great. Some of your more professional letters, you might want to go with the typical form lettering that it is more indicative of a professional mailer that goes out. You just want to change things up. Every single consumer that's out there is going to have a different formula. And if all you ever do is send the same letter and the same envelope and the same handwriting on the envelope, you're not really talking to a different audience with your different pieces of marketing. So make little changes to the length of your letters, to the style of your envelope, to the writing on the envelope, different things like that throughout your campaign, and you'll add a few extra people that may not have opened you before, or may not have really given your offer any consideration before. So that's going to be big. So we have a question from Steve, asked if monthly coaching calls are still available through all the leads for subscribers. Steve didn't mention for subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, no, you can't get a free monthly coaching call, but that's never really been the case. If you are an all the leads subscriber, you get an absolutely free monthly coaching call with one of our 3 coaches every single month. So anytime you need to jump on and get some advanced coaching and have an accountability session or a strategy adjustment session, you can do that. Just log into your portal and go to training and click on professional real estate coaching, and you'll be able to book your session. So that's still going to be available. Sarah had asked, what's the best way to convert probate leads? So converting probate leads is really fun. I talk about that formula. I thoroughly enjoy unlocking the formula for people. I had a conversation with someone going through probate earlier today, and this person, as soon as they found out that I was a realtor, they said, "Oh, you're a realtor?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, we're not ready to involve a realtor yet." So immediately that conversation starts off with her throwing up a big wall. And from that point on, it became a game to me. What is this person's formula? And by the time I was off of the phone, I had an appointment to run by and see the house this weekend, all from someone that said, we're not ready to interview realtors yet. Okay. So everyone has their formula. What I like to do is first make sure that my content, my offer is going out through mail, and that it's directing them really heavily because I know that most people that open a letter or see a postcard are not going to pick the phone up and call me. I'm not expecting that. Kelly is here. Kelly Leidke, a coach with ATL, is here, and she gets a lot of return calls on letters. I don't. I get a lot of people that go visit my YouTube channel, my videos, my blogs, my website. So I usually want to point people back to one of those as their primary call to action on that letter. And from there, they're going to see that I know what I'm doing because I'm going to educate them on the probate process. All right. So you're going to educate them on the process. And then beyond that, I want to get on the phone with folks and start having rapport building conversations. I want to offer them certain things and I want to look for their resistance. And if they resist me, I embrace that resistance. I'm not looking to try to convince anyone of anything. I just want to go with the flow on that call because the more I can get them liking me and the more I can joke around, the more likely it is that I'm going to be able to offer them something that they want. Now, really, really, really important, guys. Before you ask them to pay you, okay? Before you ask for their payment, and their payment on a phone call consists of an email address, permission for you to communicate further in the future. It consists of an appointment. It consists of different things. Those are forms of payment that we're looking for on our prospecting calls. Before you ask for payment, you need to get them to agree that they want some value. So I was having a role play call yesterday and someone said, "Hey, can I get your email address?" And my response as the prospect on that role play call was, "No, I don't want to give my email address out." All right. The form of payment that this person was asking from me was an email address. All right. So we talked about it and we corrected the approach there is to say, "Hey, I know you're not looking for anything. You don't know what you're going to do right now. Maybe I can shoot you some information so that you can call me later if you ever need anything." And then once the person says yes, they've agreed to that value of you can send me information so that I can call you later. Now you say, okay, now what's the best email address? So you want to create some value before you go asking for appointments. You want someone to agree that they want something, and then you can tell them what the payment is. So the payment now is an appointment. Can we meet at the house next Wednesday? The payment is an email. What's the best email for you? So you want to create that value, and that's going to be the number one thing if you're talking to someone voice to voice to get an appointment, is create some value that they agree that they want, and then tell them what you want in exchange for that provision of value. So hopefully that helps a lot of you guys. It took me a long time to learn that. Once I learned it, I started getting what I wanted from the prospecting calls that I had. Tim, go ahead and respond to this if you could. Diane, do you give out the same leads to everyone that signs up in a county?
So here's the answer to your question. It depends. In many cases, yes, you're going to be receiving leads that other people get. There is on average, we have always tried to make sure that we maintain the appropriate balance in every county, that we don't flood it. There are obviously people who go to the courthouse themselves and get leads. There are a few other places in the country where leads are available in the counties that we support. Not all of them we have the best coverage, but certainly there are other sources for that. And we don't just sell to one person. That's not economically feasible. We're very careful not to flood the market. The other thing that we are also extremely careful about doing is that we obviously are a professional printer in a mail house, and we make sure that we don't duplicate your content. So if you're sending out a particular letter, we make sure that if we have another customer in that same county who contracts with us to do the mail, and we try to encourage every one of our customers to, in fact, do that and offer a lot of discounts to get you to do it on autopilot so we can maintain easily this differentiated letter that goes out so it doesn't look like it. It'll come out in a different color envelope, a different size of envelope. You'll be sending a postcard when they're sending a letter they'll be sending a postcard when you're sending a letter. So we're trying to give everybody a fair shot to do it. And what Bruce will tell you behind that is the people who are successful with this is they're combining all of it. They've got a website, their letters direct them to that. In addition to that, they're religiously following up. Every time a letter goes out, they're following up with a phone call, or they're employing a third-party service to do that, and they're only talking to the most motivated of those people. The thing that you can also do to differentiate that within your targeting is you can create a high-value piece of mail. If you choose to do that, we recommend that you consider the Property Plus edition to your probate, and that we take your lead and we spend a whole new set of cycles to augment it and make sure that within the body of that lead, we determine which of them not only owns property in the county that you're in, but anywhere in the United States. So more and more, we're finding that people who, particularly in Florida and high retirement areas, Arizona, everywhere people go to retire, they own property elsewhere. So if they happen to pass away in that state, oftentimes you're only going to maybe be talking about one piece of property where they may own multiple properties in multiple states. We find them all. Not a perfect science, because if someone has the name Joe Smith, there may be a bunch of people named Joe Smith that own property in Poughkeepsie, and maybe Joe Smith passed away in Arizona, but we'll do our best to find it and proof out that it is, in fact, the same Joe Smith in Arizona that passed away. It's kind of a long answer. The answer is, yes, we do sell to more than one person. We definitely don't flood the market. We're not unscrupulous about doing that. And on average, across the country, we sell to less than 3 people in every county. There are counties where we have more than that, but for the most part, we're well under that 3-county threshold. And that was where we started in the beginning. We were never going to do more than that, but market pressure forced us to go do it, because there are certain counties that are so large that people will buy the whole county, and then they'll simply focus on the part they want to focus on. Last thing I'll say about that is that in the larger marketplaces, Los Angeles being the first place we did it, we went in and split LA up into 6 different market segments. So we did South Bay, West LA, the Valley. We did, pretty much a straight geographic split. We've done the same thing with Cook County in Illinois, and West Palm Beach County in Florida. And in the coming months, we're probably going to do it in other places. So we definitely are trying to make it as easy as possible for you to focus on what you want to go do, and giving you a little bit more geographic breakdown is a good way to do that. But that's a very long answer to your question.
Yeah, I'd say.
That's what I got.
Tim. Here's what I want everyone to hear. I've been doing probate for a long time myself in my market, 9 years. And I've seen a lot of people come and go, and I teach people my exact process in my local market. And it's pretty rare that someone actually follows my process. I have one person in my market who I've shown the process to, and the person is doing it and seeing success. That success that individual is having is not diminished anything that I do or would do. It doesn't diminish the results. We find that about 40%, if not higher, of folks that go through probate will sell a house in the near future. It could be higher. About 70%, 75%, sometimes as high as 80% have real estate. Some of them are going to keep the house. They might be a surviving spouse. They might keep the house for 3 years before they sell. But in the near future, around 40% are going to sell. All you want is your 5-10% of that 40% to be extremely profitable in this niche. So I've never really worried if there are 7 or 8 other people or 10 other people competing with me in a market. I know that out of 10, there's only going to be 1 that's doing it at a high level, and they're going to get their 5% of those that are going to sell, and I'm going to go get my 5 or 10%. So, to my knowledge, we've got wait lists in some of the counties that are the highest, have the like getting a little larger on subscribers.
Hey, Bruce,
So-
I couldn't agree more with everything you said. And if I could state the obvious, remember
Did I freeze, guys?
No, I think Jim did.
Okay. I thought I did.
Yeah, Jim's frozen.
All right. So to state the obvious. If it's obvious, Tim, you ought to be able to pick that out. I don't know what it was going to be.
Not that obvious to me.
All right. Good. Well, this is good. If this is your first time here, the format of this call was a little different. We usually have just a load of questions and one or two announcements, a little bit different. So come back next week to get your questions answered. Come with some questions, please. And we also want to hear success stories from you guys. That's what we're all about. If somebody's successful, we want to encourage those of you that are new or maybe haven't gotten this ramped up yet. We want to encourage you to see that there are people doing really well in this business. Yeah, so that's all I have to say. Come back next week. Tim?
Not only that, we offer you an incentive to do that, kind of a shameless bribe to come back and tell us how well you've done, because we like to hear that more than anything else. We love to celebrate success, and we usually have a win of the week, and we end up with an idea of the week, and we give you some incentives about that as well, and we'll give you a credit on your next month's leads if you do that. So if you got a great win you want to talk about, let us know. If you come up with a cool idea that you tried that worked, this is a community of people who share all the time, and we definitely want to give you the opportunity to participate in that. So we'd love to hear from you. Jimmy, are you back and able to talk now? No, you're muted, buddy. Unmute yourself.
Got it. My computer decided this was an optimum time to reboot. I have no idea why, but what I started to say, Bruce, regardless of how competitive your market is, if I could state the obvious, there are way less people, way less competition than FSBOs or expireds or almost any other source out there. So, relatively speaking, it's still a very optimum source to go after. And I agree with you that if you do it right, there really is no competition. So that was
you got back just in time to also send us away.
All right. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to particularly thank those that actively participated. Thank you to our guest consultant, Andy. We hope to see you as often as possible in the future. Really, really good stuff. I hope you'll check out our courses. And I want to challenge each of you, take one thing that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next Thursday and share your results with the group. Have a great week, everybody. Same time next Thursday. Take care.